format. It's a format that we have once a month, which is very exciting because on an evening like tonight, we call it Tell All Tuesday, we get to invite some of our wealth engineers that are enjoying success at DuePoint. They get to come up on stage and tell us their stories. I laughed the other day. I was speaking to one of the wealth engineers, and he said he was trying to get this very old, established, wealthy man to come to a DuePoint presentation, and the guy refused to come, and he refused to come, and then eventually he showed the guy a Tell All Tuesday on his laptop. He said, well, if you're not going to come, let me show you. And the guy said, no, those wealth engineers they're bringing up are actors. I guarantee you, no one is an actor this evening. These are all bona fide wealth engineers that have put their own blood, sweat, and tears into this business and reaped the benefits thereof. Alrighty, so let's begin the presentation. So DuePoint, this is our head office here in Bryanston, but we're actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's the little orange logo in the bottom right corner, but they are not so little. They've been around for 70 years, or nearly 70 years. They were founded in 1952. A very well-established insurance business within South Africa. And when I say insurance businesses, they are one of the few registered insurance companies in South Africa. There are not a lot of registered insurance businesses in South Africa. I think there are only about a dozen. So you come across other insurance companies like King Price or PMD or those companies, they're actually not registered insurance companies. They often get underwritten by a business like Constantia. So Constantia takes all the risk and they comply with a lot more things than your typical FSPs have to. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there, 31111. We obviously operate within financial services. There's a lot of regulation that we have to comply with. You'll notice one of the things we have to comply with is put up all our licenses for display for you guys to make sure that you're dealing with a registered business. So if you look above the water cooler in our foyer, you will see we've got a short-term insurance license, a long-term insurance license, and an investment license. It is important for you guys to trust the company that you're going to be getting into business with potentially, right? That's almost a given. So do the background check, go do some research on who Constantia is, who the directors are, if you really have to. We're part of another business called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So you can rest assured you're dealing with a very reputable business. Alrighty. These are the characters involved here at DuePoint. These are the managers and the executive team. The three characters on the left are all chartered accountants. So Tim, Stacy, Brendan, chartered accountants. They like wearing ties. I'm on the far right there. I don't like wearing a tie. Okay. Brendan over here is the head executive here at DuePoint. He has got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly within insurance, because his father founded Clientele Life. His father's a professor of insurance, taught insurance at Wits for 25 years. Brendan and his brother founded Prime Meridian Direct. So they've been involved in insurance all their lives. Unfortunately, they got insurance policies as birthday presents, even from a young age. So you have to feel sorry for Brendan. Whenever you speak to him, think about that. Feel a little bit sorry for Brendan. But we're very lucky to have an individual like this heading up the business with all the experience that he has. We've got Tim. So Tim's sitting in the corner over there, also an accountant. We were able to pry him away from the First Rand Group, a very large banking organization that owns the likes of FNB and Rand Merchant Bank. He was working directly beneath the CEO at First Rand, and I think he wanted to have a bit of a change, and we were able to convince him to come join us here. Tim heads up all the financial and the regulatory aspects of our business. Then Stacy, also an accountant, was working at Deloitte overseas in Europe, in Luxembourg, before she came back to South Africa, and she was looking at joining one of the big banks, and we were able to also convince her to come join us at DuePoint. And Stacy also heads up aspects of financial management here. Then we've got Jane, the smile of DuePoint, right? So if any of our guests here would have walked in, you would have seen Jane at reception, smiling at you, saying hello to you in her Yorkshire accent, because she's from York in the UK. She has got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, decades worth. And she's been in South Africa for about 10 years. She's carried on in that vein of business, and we are lucky to have her on the team because she brings all that success that she's had in the past with her here at DuePoint. And then me, everyone knows, all the wealth engineers know that I'm the tallest and the best looking out of everyone. even in a tie. I even shaved for everyone this morning. I'm not an accountant. I am a creative. So I was a creative director for many years. I started a digital agency in 1999. So that's almost 20 years. I sold that business, I think, about 2 years ago. So I ran that for about 17 years of my life, fairly successfully. Had its own issues, as running your own business does. And I joined the team, and Brendan was very instrumental in getting this whole team together. Our mandate here in DuePoint is to make our wealth engineers as successful as possible. That's our mandate. We are here to support you guys, to make you as effective as possible in this business endeavor, and through your success, DuePoint will be successful. Alrighty, so this is the team. If you become a wealth engineer, you'll be seeing more of us. We don't hide in our offices. You can speak to any of the wealth engineers. We get involved with everyone. We are very much a hands-on executive and management team. Okay, so why are you here this evening? What is the premise of you being here? What are your expectations? I would expect that everyone, I know the wealth engineers at least, are here to make money. I hope the guests here this evening are here to make money, to put it crudely. You're here to make money. Am I right? Yeah. Good, you're in the right place. Because there's a bar on the top floor of the building next door, and sometimes people get lost and end up here and make money by accident. It happens. It happens. Come on a Thursday night. You'll see it happens all the time. We lead them in. Is this the copper bar? Yes. Extra money. Able to even read his balance sheet. That's how long the number is. And he will tell anyone that asks him, make sure you have a second line of income. It is your responsibility to take that upon your shoulders. Okay, and that's really what we're going to be discussing this evening. So the premise is making more money. Let's set the scene first. Do we all read the newspapers? Are we brave enough to listen to carte blanche? Do we trust what the media is telling us? Do we believe what's happening in the economy? Unless you've had your head in a hole, right? Things aren't looking that rosy at the moment. The economy has changed drastically in the last 20 years. Globally, not only in South Africa, globally. I saw some statistic that said jobs that exist today are going to be redundant in 5 years. That is crazy. 5 years, jobs are just not going to exist. They're going to be taken over by automated processes, right? That's just one aspect. So that's something that affects us globally. South Africa's economy is very much on the tail end of what happens globally. Trump comes to power, suddenly the dollar price shoots up, minds are smiling, everyone else is crying, right? We've got these factors that are beyond our control, that go to and fro, that affect us. Then we've got our local economy. We've got things happening here, things like the drought that we experienced a year ago. I reckon it was the worst drought in 100 years. In 100 years, food inflation is sitting at 11%. That means food is doubling every 7 years. It is crazy, right? We have these aspects of our lives within the economy that are affecting us, that we unfortunately do not have control over. I see this happening firsthand. I see the effect of it firsthand. My wife works for the largest private employer in the country. The largest private employer in the country. They are struggling. Businesses are here to survive. They need to restructure, and often what happens with restructuring means retrenchments. My wife heads up labor litigation for a very large mining consortium. She deals with all the restructuring and the retrenchments that are happening. And it doesn't affect just the people at ground level, right? Mine workers or people working in the mailroom or whatever it is. It is affecting everyone, because she got a brief across her desk a month ago where they were looking at getting rid of a whole host of professionals within their business. These are people working at head office. They've got 1 or 2 professional degrees. They probably did well at school. They went to a varsity. They got professional degrees. They joined one of the biggest, most established businesses in the world. They're being retrenched. It is affecting everyone. So this is the reality check that we need to come to terms with. I'm not trying to paint a picture to depress everyone. I'm giving you the facts. The facts. You might have been retrenched yourself. I'm not going to tell you individually the pain that you need to be feeling from a financial point of view. You are probably feeling it already, right? When I said this is not about desperation, for some of us it might be about desperation. We might be in a position where we realize, I need to make more money. If I want to send my kids to the schools I want to send them, or I want to retire the way I envisioned retiring, I need to start doing something for myself that makes a difference. Okay. One aspect that affects our lives is this little thing, this 4-letter word called debt. Debt is something not forced onto us. We have control over the debt we take on in our lives. We are afforded debt the moment you earn a salary. The moment you earn a salary, you get entered into the fiscus, and suddenly you're liable for tax and all these wonderful things. Okay? When that salary gets deposited into a bank account, the bank will often flag you as a wonderful new client, and to make money out of you, they will offer you savings, investment products, and a whole bunch of debt instrument products. Debt instruments that South Africans like to engage in, credit cards. We all need at least a few credit cards just in case, okay, for those emergencies. Good idea to max out the second credit card when the first one's maxed out and you get retrenched. Cars, about 10 million cars on the road in South Africa. Not many people buy cars cash. We go to the bank and say, please give me some money. I'll pay you back for the next 5 years. The car industry is also under duress, because if you open up the newspaper or look at any advert, you will see now that they offer extended terms. It's not 5 years anymore. You can pay back the car over 6 years, over 7 years, with a 40% residual, right? Because they're struggling too. Home loans. Pay the bank back about 2.5 times the value of your house when you decide to pay it back over 20 years. So these are all typical debt instruments, okay? These are all linked to the interest rate. The interest rate dictates how much money you're paying back to the bank, okay? And then a portion of your money, hopefully there's still a portion left over once you've paid for the home loan and the car loan and the credit cards and the clothing accounts, the personal loan and the educational loan. Got a little bit of money left over. Okay, that money is also subject to a whole bunch of costs. The cost of living, groceries, sending your kids to school, holidays. Don't forget, retirement planning, right? But what happens in the economy when it starts to struggle like it is, the interest rate goes up. And when the interest rate goes up, the cost of your debt goes up. That's how it works. Cost of debt goes up, and that portion, that little piggy bank over there represents the money left over. That portion of money that you have left over for all the other costs in your life, you have less money for that. So if you are feeling the squeeze already, it's going to get a lot tighter at the end of the month. And you start to compromise on those things. You can't take the holidays you went on. You can't enjoy the lifestyle you were enjoying. You're hopefully not compromising on your retirement planning. Okay? So two more scary slides. Let's talk about retirement planning. So this was an article that was published on fin24.com. Tim, my favorite accountant out of all three, sent me the article. And it scared me. It did. I'm not an accountant. We know I'm not an accountant. I don't check my balance sheet once a month. If I check it once a year, I'm lucky. And I usually panic. And when Tim sent this to me, I had a little panic, because I only meet with my financial advisor once every 5 years, if I'm lucky. I sent the article straight to my wife. I said, we need to check our numbers. I scheduled a meeting with the financial advisor immediately. This is all unrealistic. Let me show you what this article claims. If you want to retire at 65, ignore this. No one retires at 60 unless you've got plenty money, okay? 65, you're going to retire. If you're lucky, you might be forced into retirement. But let's look at that. You need to save 10 times your annual income for that amount of money for you to live off for the next 30 years. The mortality rate in South Africa is going up. It goes up every year. It's currently sitting at 74 years of age for women. All of us sitting here, our mortality rate is more than 74. If you're my age, 40, mortality rate is probably in my 90s. Kids being born today, their mortality rate is in excess of 100 years of age. How does your retirement planning cater to the fact that you're still going to live for 30, 40 years after you retired? Okay, so this is what you need to say for that. I want 52,000 Rand a month when I retire. That's how much I want to be earning. Okay? Put 10 million Rand into an investment when you retire, and you can have your 52,000 Rand a month. Does this seem like a plausible solution towards retirement? Do we have anyone under the age of 25 in the house? One. Sir, you're lucky. You've got enough time to save. You only need to save for 40 years, 8,000 Rand a month. This is what is expected of people. And what happens if you get retrenched in between and you're out of a job for a year and you're unable to put that 8,000 Rand a month away? Now you're eating into what you've saved because you have to survive while you don't have a job. Guys, this is not the solution. It is not the solution. The stats that we get from the FSB tell us that. It's like 2% of the population that retires financially independent. That's 98% of South Africans that are now becoming a burden on someone else when they retire. On your kids, because they can afford it, right? It's not a plausible solution. So I hope what you see for the rest of the presentation is going to open your eyes to what is possible. Okay. So out of all of that disaster that I've just enlightened everyone to, we saw the need to create a solution for South Africans to be able to change their financial circumstance. And so the DuePoint system was born. The DuePoint system has got 3 aspirations. Number 1, for our wealth engineers to become completely debt-free. Completely debt-free. I know most of you can't imagine becoming debt-free, but it's a possibility. To become debt-free, to pay your house off, to own the car that you drive, not have any educational loans or personal loans. You owe no one money. Everything you own is yours, right? That's our first goal for our wealth engineers. Number 2, to start creating value in an investment that you own, that grows every month. A home loan is not an investment. I told you how much you're paying back to the bank. 2.5 times the value of that house. By the time you finish paying it off, what state is the house in? Is it the original value that you had? Probably not. So we want you to create value in an investment that doesn't have a debt instrument underneath it. And then the third aspiration happens all on its own. When you're debt-free and your investment's growing every month, number 3 happens on its own. You get to connect with your dreams and aspirations once again. Think back to when you were in high school and your parents were paying the bills. When your mind was free to roam the potential of adulthood. What did that look like? What car were you driving? Can you remember? I remember. It might seem fickle. I think when you're a teenager, you have pretty much, these fickle kind of dreams. I wanted a Porsche. But the Porsche keeps going up in price every damn year, and I'm not catching up. Right? So I've given up on that dream. How many of us have given up on the dream? Your dreams might change. When you get older, you become a little more responsible. You might want to help your kids. Send them to great schools. Be able to send them to university. Help your parents, perhaps. Help other people, other family members. Right? So that third aspiration for the DuePoint system, for our wealth engineers, is to connect with those dreams and aspirations again. It's about liberating yourself. Okay. How do we do it? Well, first you have to become a wealth engineer. So, our guests here this evening, if you decide to join DuePoint, you contract with us. We call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we want you to go out and do one thing. And that is to build what we call channels of distribution. Into those channels of distribution, Constantia, DuePoint, will sell its products. That's basically how the system works, in a nutshell. The benefits thereof, and we've touched on this, the obvious one, you get to create an additional income stream for yourself, a second paycheck at the end of the month, over and above what you're getting at your day job. This is the only way that you are able to pay your debt off faster than you currently are. The nature of this business allows you to create recurring income. My father told me when I was a small kid, boy, if you can get involved in a business that makes you money when you're sleeping, you're onto a great thing. A great thing. I don't know really what he was talking about. It took me about 10 years to understand the problem I had in the business that I owned. We weren't creating a recurring income stream in my business. I would work flat out for a month, and what would happen at the end of the month? I'd have to start at zero again. I'd have to put in the same amount of effort, do the same production in our business that we did the last month to produce the same amount of turnover. Month after month after month, started zero, started zero, started zero. There was no residual value being built in the business. This business allows you to overcome that. You can create recurring income. The effort that you put in building these channels of distribution can pay you, not at the end of the first month, but in a recurring fashion. So the effort you put in today will pay you in the next month and the month after that. The power duplication, this is leverage. The CEOs that pay themselves these massive bonuses, they're doing it on the backs of their employees. That's called leverage. This is how you make your fortune. When you're able to collaborate with all your staff, your employees, a team, you get to benefit from that. So if you only have a couple of hours to spend on this business, but you have a channel of distribution that has 100 people in, and they only have 2 hours each, that's 200 hours of collaboration that might benefit you financially, okay? If you look at any business, if they can tick those 2 boxes, you're onto a good business, okay? It's completely flexible in terms of your time commitment. You're accountable to yourselves. I'm not going to fire you if you don't do anything for the next month. It's up to you. The accountability lies with you. It's flexible. You can spend 2 hours a week or do it full time. Up to you guys. No startup capital required. There's no startup fee. There's no 1-year contract that we tie you into. This opportunity is extremely low risk. Okay? No qualifications or experience required. When I joined this business, it looked great. I'm going to make the business look great. I'm in marketing and advertising. I know all these things. And then Brendan said, yeah, but you should still go do all these KI and RE exams that the FSB wants you to do. Then I wasn't very happy. I passed the first 2 exams. Commercial lines was last month. It was touch and go. So you all need to pray for me that I passed commercial lines. You guys don't need to jump through any of those hoops. You can reap the benefits of being involved in financial services without any of those onerous regulations that you have to abide with. Build an asset. So this is a very important one. This is the one that should make you decide to join this or not. You get to build an asset that's treated as a legal asset that you have ownership over. You can sell it. You can move it into your family trust. You can cede it to your kids or to your spouse if something happened to you. Right? You have that flexibility. You're building value in something that you own. There's no selling required at all. I didn't hear the applause. Hey? Aren't you relieved? No selling. You don't have to do any selling in this business. The nature of our business, because we deal with financial products, our products are intangible. Why should you be smiling because of that fact? Because you're not going to be buying any stock from Jane when you walk out here this evening. Have you tried fitting 500 kilograms of multivitamins into your boot? Have you tried finding space in your garage for all the vitamins? Have you checked the expiry date on the vitamins? There's none of that, guys. There's none of that. Intangible products, we do all the collections and debit orders while you're sleeping. While you're sleeping. Okay, so we make this business as easy and as convenient to get involved in as possible. What are channels of distribution? They begin with you. That's you. You're enthused by my presentation this evening, and you go out after you've joined and you go tell your friends, family, acquaintances, colleagues about the business, and you are successfully able to get 5 people to join the business, and we're able to place a product with those individuals. This is the beginning of your channel of distribution. Power of duplication. This is power of duplication happening. This is leverage. This is your team, your channel of distribution. This is 2 hours times 1,000 people for your benefit. There's the CEO in the middle. This is the channel of distribution. So if you're with us for 1 year, it could get to the size. If you're with us for 10 years, it'll be bigger. Right? Accountability lies with you guys again. Here's our disclaimer slide. I love this slide. It's got a very pretty picture of a ballerina's feet. I dated a ballerina. Their feet aren't pretty. True story, guys. It's my disclaimer slide because I need to give you a reality check about what the expectation around this business is. This is not a scheme. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you think you're going to come in here and add in 10,000 people in the month and you're going to be a millionaire by December, you're in the clouds. If any of you have had the privilege of trying to start your own business, you will know what I'm talking about. It is difficult. It requires a lot of thought and strategy, goal making, getting through frustration, setting targets, effort, persistence. So for the ballerina, we all think she's got the beautiful foot wrapped in the ballet pump. In reality, to become a professional dancer, she's probably spent 10,000 hours on the stage, practicing and practicing and practicing. Blisters, calluses, toenails, bleeding toes, maybe a broken toe. That's what business is about. This is the business opportunity that we're speaking about. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. No one's leaving, so I think you're all happy with that. Right? Guys, set your sights a year down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. Don't come and complain to me after a week or 3 weeks or 6 weeks. Things don't change that quickly. Okay? That's the commitment that I want from everyone. So let's talk about the returns. This is how the returns work. This is how we pay our wealth engineers. We pay our wealth engineers a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that we're able to place in your channel. That depends on where the product lies. So remember those first 5 individuals you introduced to the business? They lie on your first point. See? 5 of them that you were successfully able to introduce to the business, we placed it. Remember, it's recurring income. It's not a once-off return that you get at the end of the month. It's a recurring income. So you get paid at the end of November, then at the end of December, at the end of January. They go out and they do the same thing, right? You're a team. These individuals lie on your second point. These are friends of friends. On point 2, again, we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month. To point 3, to point 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down to the 8th point. At the 8th point, that multiplier drops to 4%, but we don't limit you there. You can be with this business for the next 20 years. We're not going to limit you on how big your channel can become. We're not going to limit you on how much you can earn with DuePoint. Again, accountability lies with you guys. This is how the returns work, the mechanics. Fairly straightforward. What we did with those very exciting accountants on slide 3 was we asked them to come up with a growth model. This will give you guys an idea of how much you could earn with DuePoint if you grow at a certain rate. That rate is what we call the 3+2 growth formula. It assumes that you can bring in 3 people into the business successfully in the first month. And then you only have to bring in another 2 new people every consecutive month. So you bring in 3 in November, December you only find another 2. January you find another 2. And you're able to duplicate that behavior into your channel. And we've taken into consideration all the issues we have in business. People don't do anything, people cancel, people don't pay, people don't have money in their accounts. This is what you can expect. These are the numbers you can expect. This is only an example, guys. It's not a rule. It's an example. You can do less by sitting on your bum. You can do more than this. After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand a month. A little, a lot. If you've got 0 in the bank at the end of the month, that's a lot. Right? It also could be seen as a little. 6 months of work. 6 months of work. I know my wife briefs lawyers that earn that in an hour. 2,500 Rand. Let's give it some more context. Let's look at the debt that we have in our lives. So here's an example of a R1 million bond. You see a lovely house, you decide to buy it, it costs you R1 million, you go to the bank, you ask the bank for a loan, they say, sure, here's a loan. You agree to pay back the loan over 20 years. They tell you at the current interest rate, you're going to be paying back 11,000, 12,000 Rand a month, right? You join DuePoint. 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand a month. Instead of spending that money on shoes or bicycle stuff, you decide to put the 2,500 rand into your bond. What effect does it have on the bond? It'll drop your term, that 20-year term that you agreed to pay back the bank, it drops it to less than 12 years. 11 and a half years, you'll pay that house off. Now it's yours. The deed gets sent to your house. Now you own your own house. That's in nearly half the time. That little 2,500 rand has saved you 1 million rand in repayments. Isn't that crazy? When the clever accountants came up with this example, I thought, that's impossible. The house cost 1 million rand. How can you save 1 million rand with 2,500 rand? This is compound interest that works against you. Can you see the potential that 2,500, just an extra 2,500 rand, the impact that it can have on your life? Another beautiful stat that we got from the FSB, average South African only starts saving properly for retirement in their 50s. That's a good time to start, just before you get retrenched. Hey? I know these things. When people look at restructuring and retrenchment, they go, who's close to retirement? We get rid of them first. That's how it happens, unfortunately. Guys, this means you can start saving towards your retirement properly nearly 10 years sooner. 10 years sooner. So if you're paying 11,000 rand on a bond, plus you're making 2,500, that's 13,500 rand that you can start putting towards your retirement saving at 40 years of age instead of 50 years of age. Can you see the impact that this can have on your life? This is what we're talking about. 12 months, you had nearly 10,000 rand a month. It's 120,000 rand a year. More than what you had before. Tomorrow, I want you to go to your boss and ask for a 100,000 rand bonus. Unrealistic, isn't it? We all laugh at that. Unrealistic. We keep going. 24 months, nearly 30,000 rand a month. Coincidentally enough to buy a 911 Turbo Porsche. Not buy it, kind of rent it from the bank. Options, guys, options. 50,000 rand after 36 months. You want to look at a bond example? Now that you're in the pound seats, you've got a 5 million rand house. You're earning about 36,000 rand a month from DuePoint. Put it into the bond. You'll pay the bond off in less than 7 years. So in my age, 40, you can do that 3 times over by the time you're ready for early retirement at the age of 61. Now I'm 61. I've got my house that I'm living in, 5 million rand house, somewhere nice in the suburbs. And I've got an extra 2 houses that I'm renting out for 25,000 rand a month. Now when I'm ready to retire, 50,000 rand in passive income from my property portfolio. Sounds important, doesn't it? Guys, there's a much better retirement plan. This is what we're discussing. 48 months, you're on close to 70,000 rand a month. After 5 years, we're talking around 1 million rand a year. 1 million rand a year. I'd love to go to my boss and say, my part-time job's paying me more than what you're paying me. I quit. Just joking. Right? Wouldn't you love to do that? How many of us truly love our jobs? Truly. Willing to work for free. Willing to work for free? Don't love it that much. Eh? Guys, we're talking about options here. We're talking about options. If you only earn a single salary at the end of the month, you don't have options. 60 months is not far away. I love to think of the Olympians. I knew an Olympian. I was friends with him out of school. Doesn't seem so much anymore. We're Facebook friends. That counts for a lot. He was an Olympic rower. He won silver at the Athens Olympics. He had 2 weeks off every year. 2 weeks, the whole year. He used to come to parties with us. He would bring his own brown rice, no sauce, wouldn't drink. That was his life for 12 years. 5 months is not far away. The Olympians that have just finished the Olympics, I promise you now, they are training for the next Olympics. They had a 2-week break, they're training. Set your sights on where you want your life to be in 5 years. It is not far away. If you're around my age, the last 5 years went like that. Can't remember what I did in the last 5 years. I know I changed jobs somewhere in between. Right? It goes quickly, guys. It goes quickly. It's not a lot to ask. Ruth is our first wealth engineer that's going to come up and speak to us. She's going to share her story with us. Ruth. Ruth is our gogo of DuePoint, one of our other very successful wealth engineers. He carries this photo of Ruth on his cell phone. And when he shows people the business, he said, if this gogo can do the business, you can do the business. Right? Ruth, tell us your story. Tell us what motivates you, what made you decide to join DuePoint, what has kept you going.
My name is Ruth. Currently, I'm a counselor at Ekurhuleni, but the salary I'm getting every month, it was not satisfying me. So I decided to do an extra job or to get an opportunity for me to get an extra income. Fortunately, I decided to join DuePoint. And I'm now 6 months in DuePoint. This really, it has changed my life. With this, I buy myself a petrol, I take myself, I go to the gym, I'm a gogo. I'm a gogo with style. I'm a gogo with this who does manicure and pedicure through the Really, I'm not joking, guys. Really, this is good for me. This has changed my life. So imagine if this has changed my life now. In January, how much will I get? And for sure, in January, I'll be getting 7,000 or more than that.
Yeah, that's for sure. We've had meetings together. We know you are extremely motivated. This is just the beginning. Ruth's been with us for 6 months. The previous slide I showed you guys, I said again, it was just an example. Ruth's been with us 6 months. According to that 3+2 growth model, she should only have been at 2,500 Rand a month. She's already at 4,500 Rand, 50,000 Rand more than she had last year. Ruth, what motivates you? What are your goals? You told me today what you envisioned your life to be like in a few years.
Well,
share that with us.
Yeah, my goal, Rob. As I said, I want to be a gogo with style. I want to be a gogo who is financially independent. I don't want to be a burden to my kids and my grandchildren. And I'm happy with DuePoint because with DuePoint I can see where I am going. And also, I can't wait, Rob, myself, to go to Mauritius and to go to Cape Town. With DuePoint, I am going to Cape Town. I am going to Mauritius. But with the salary I'm getting, I couldn't go there. Yeah. Because that salary I'm getting, it was only programmed to pay my debts. But with DuePoint, really, I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very much happy.
Ruth, that's wonderful. We love your commitment and all your effort, and we look forward to the next 6 months. Guys, and that's the point. Ruth has nearly doubled her income in a month. Everyone needs to go have a meeting with their boss tomorrow. Ask for the bonus. When he says no to the bonus, say you want an increase next month. See how that goes. Guys, this is the beauty of being accountable to yourselves. You have the opportunity of putting in effort into something. We offer you the platform. Accountability lies with you. You have the potential to increase your own salary every month. That's what we're talking about. All right. So we discussed the returns. There is another way you can benefit out of DuePoint. We have an incentive program. We call it the XP Rewards program. It is like an incentive program at work, right? Similar to that. So your boss says to you, you've got to do so many sales or make so many phone calls or make him 10 cups of tea a day and he'll give you a bonus, right? Incentive. This is our incentive program. These little tasks that are floating past you are typical tasks, typical behavior that a wealth engineer would engage in when they are building their channels of distribution. And when you are successful at that, we reward you. So each one of these little tasks you do, we give you XP points. So the first one's very simple. You can't see it. Number 1 at the top, log into the website. Log into your dashboard. You get 25 XP. Come to a presentation like this, you get 250 XP, right? So there's a plethora of different tasks here that reward you along the way. And when your channel begins to grow, we give you rewards. So this is the rewards table. So this gives you an idea of what it looks like. If you join this evening, you will be a rank 0 wealth engineer. The 2 things you need to get, XP and your channel size needs to grow. When those 2 things happen, you get the reward in that last column over there. Very straightforward. Okay? Some of them are cash. Most of them are once-offs. We give away tools like this. Here's Patrick and Pumi with their Lightning USB drive. We had to import these little suckers. They're very good looking. More importantly, they plug into literally any device that you might have. Whether it's a tablet, a phone, a laptop, a computer, whether it's Android, whether it's Apple or banana, doesn't matter. It's going to plug into it, and more importantly, we have all our collateral on there, all the videos, the training, the intro presentations, everything is on that little stick so that you can show people, regardless of where you are, the time of the day, could be anywhere. You get to show them what the DuePoint opportunity is all about. These are tools to make you more effective at building these channels of distribution. Here at rank 7, we've got Donnie with his business cards. These business cards cost us 12,500 Rand a set to get printed. They're actually not printed. These get manufactured. There's a difference. They are gilded in gold. You'll see them in the merchandise cabinet outside. They're about 4 times thicker than any normal business card. They're printed on some crazy black recycled potato paper, whatever that means, but it is like velvet to the touch. The point is, when you give someone a business card like this, I promise you they will take notice. I've worked in advertising for a long time. I was very impressed with these business cards. You cannot get these in South Africa. It took us ages to find a supplier. We found one supplier in Cape Town that could do the gold gilding. He normally does it to Bibles. Now he's doing it to business cards. Okay? When you sit down, a room full of CEOs, I promise you, your business card will stand out. They will ask you, what is DuePoint? What do you do for them? All right. Just another tool to make you more effective. Rank 9. This is not a once-off reward. When you get to rank 9, this is a reward that you will enjoy with your family every single year going forward with DuePoint. Every single year. Who's flown business class? Not many people. I got bumped up to business class by accident from London once. I was 21 years old, got to the airport 10 hours early. They said, "Sir, we've overbooked the flight. Do you mind if we bump you to business class?" I said, "Yes, please." Virgin Active upper class. They gave me pajamas to wear, offered me champagne when I got on. The chair lay down like a bed. I had a screen 4 times bigger than anyone else. Everyone looked at me when they walked past towards economy. Guys, you get to enjoy business class flights with your entire family. We take you to a 5-star resort for a full week. All expenses paid every year going forward. This is privilege for most people. I'm going to show you a video of where we're going next year. Enjoy.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Are you, will you? Are you, will you? We're going to have wealth engineers qualifying for this trip already early next year. There's no time limit on it. Again, accountability upon your own shoulders. You can take as long as you want, or you can do it in as short time as you want. And like I said, this is privilege, guys. How many people do you know that get to go on trips like that? I've got a couple of friends that work at SAP and Microsoft. They go on trips like that. The top salesmen, the national salesmen, they get to go on trips like that, all expenses paid trip. It's available to everyone. Everyone in this room. The only person you can blame for not getting to this trip is going to be exactly yourself. Hey? This is like a self-help presentation. I should charge everyone for this. Guys, the privilege is there. Can you imagine what this does when you're able to take your children away on a business class trip every single year? You will liberate them, their minds, the potential that they have in life, right? This is what we want for our wealth engineers. At rank 11, a car without a debit order at the end of the month. Hey? Those don't exist. I only figured out a couple of years ago you don't have to buy a new car every 5 years. No terms and conditions. You get to this rank, we buy the car cash, we give it to you. It's yours. Done. You get to enjoy a brand new car without any debit order at the end of the month. Our aim is to make you debt-free. Can you see how all these things add up towards that? And we have a sweetener. If it wasn't enough, our Ironman Easter conference over Easter weekend, the most expensive weekend to go away in the year. Again, we're going to take away families down to Franschhoek in the Cape, business class tickets, 5-star boutique hotel, wining and dining at Michelin star restaurants, a whole itinerary for the kids to enjoy. It's going to be a superb 4 days away. It ends at the end of January. I want to remind the wealth engineers here, you have got 2.5 months left to get to this incentive. Who thinks December is a holiday? The wealth engineers here are like, I don't know what to say. December is not a holiday. December is a holiday for the salary earners who are tired at the end of the year. Our wealth engineers are working over December, working in January, because it pays to work in December, right? So I want to see those reports in December. Everyone's going to be charging. I don't want to see a slump. Okay. This is a slide that explains the business model. Some people come and ask us about the business model. How can you pay people so much? How can you take them on these expensive trips? Guys, it's very simple. This is a traditional business model. For any company to get their services and their products out to market, they have to engage with marketing and advertising. That costs a lot of money. Go ask Brendan, if you want, how much money PMD spends a day on marketing and advertising. They've got a traditional business model down the road. They spend a fortune on marketing and advertising, particularly in insurance companies. Client acquisition costs are huge. I did Google marketing for a couple of insurance companies. You go Google car insurance, a couple of the ads pop up above the real results. You click on one of those ads. The moment you click on that ad, you've just cost one of those insurance companies about 250 Rand. That's how much it costs. That's just the click. You haven't even filled out the form. You listen to radio stations. They say, phone us. You phone us for a quote. If we don't better the quote, we'll pay you 700 Rand. That gives you an idea of how much insurance companies spend on marketing and advertising. DuePoint does not spend a cent on marketing and advertising. You will not see our logo outside of this building, because that portion of the premium we pay to our wealth engineers. Really, just for word of mouth. That's all we're asking you to do. Go out and talk about the business opportunity. So that portion of the premium that insurance companies spend on marketing and advertising, we apportion that towards the returns and the rewards that we give our wealth engineers. Very basic. And on that note, Mike and Vilna, come join us on stage. Yes, give them a round of applause. Who's first? Mike. Mike.
He's got the gift of the gab.
Guys, welcome. Another Kempton Park wealth engineer couple. I'm from thereabouts, where the storms are heavier, the floods are worse.
That's because we're cooking up the storms.
That's for sure. So, Mike, tell us your story. We were discussing a little bit about your background today. You understand the challenges of running your own business. Maybe you can tell us how you got involved in a business like this, what your experience has been of trying to run your own business.
Thanks, Rob. Yes. First of all, when you run your own business, the business owns you. You don't own the business. Which basically means you don't have time for yourself. You have to make sure that all the debts, all the people are paid before you can pay yourself. So, yeah, it's not all fun and games. So looking for something to boost the income, to provide a regular income, because working on a commission basis, I'm also in the financial side, financial advisory, and working on a commission basis, you're not sure what you're going to get paid at the end of the month. And the beauty of network marketing is that you can make sure that you get an increase every month. 8 months in the game, we've had 8 consecutive increases. There aren't many businesses where you can do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've reached the point now where we can say it's the equivalent of having saved R1 million. That's great, and that's great. But one thing with network marketing, you can't do it without the team. So you've got to build a team, you've got to build a channel, and you've got to make sure that those people know where they are going. And it's lovely, it's beautiful. We've got quite a few team members here, thanks to them. We've got a lot of people watching. Zanine, Nelspruit, Cape Town, great guys. Welcome to all of you. And it's fantastic to be able to know that these people are there, they're building with you and doing it while you're not necessarily active.
Yeah, that's one of the lessons you learned early in the game.
Absolutely. I started with network marketing many years ago. And being a marketer myself, I got in and I just sold the product, which was great. I was very successful in selling the product, but I did not build a team. So the business folded very quickly. Now I've learned from that. We've got a new opportunity. We've got a fantastic opportunity here. I think the best network marketing opportunity that I've ever come across, and definitely the best in South Africa. So let's make it work.
We will. Thank
Definitely.
you.
Thanks.
Vilna?
Well, as Mike said, if you are doing DuePoint, you're sure of an income every month. And if you work hard at it, it will increase every month. I used to lie awake worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen at the end of the month income-wise. Now I lie awake wondering, who's going to be the next person for DuePoint? Who can I go to and present the opportunity to? Because this is the opportunity of a lifetime, people. It's the best network that there is, that South Africa has ever seen. And I can just say thank you to our team for being with us and helping us. And I know all of you are going to be very, very successful. And I know some of you are right there on the brink of doing it and keeping it going.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We look forward to your continued success. Thank you so much for your commitment. Guys, they touched on the teamwork aspect. Those are those channels of distribution. There are 2 aspects to this business. Go out, introduce people to the business, and then enjoy the benefits of working in a team, right? Because it's going to benefit you. Working in a team is going to benefit you. Okay. Our products, you're probably wondering what the products are. We know it's not vitamins. We know the products don't weigh anything. We have 3 products, guys. They have been designed to work together. You can take out 1 product or all 3 products. It's up to you. It's up to you. This is the first product. It is an investment product. It is called Access Wealth. It's going to cost 274 Rand a month, of which we invest 100 Rand into a tax-free fund on your behalf. You have full access to it. There's no notice deposit. That's a year or even 30 days. You can draw your funds out within 72 hours. On top of the investment portion, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you have this product and something happens to you, you get hit by a bus, that's a bad accident, we will pay your beneficiaries out 100,000 Rand. So this is an investment product, all right? 274. The second product is an insurance product called Wealth Guard. It is 249 a month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay? The beauty of the personal accident cover on this product and the previous product is it is accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter your status of health. The premium will still be 249 Rand, and you will still enjoy 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So there's no bias. We're not going to send a nurse to come do bloods and ask you about your family history and ask you about the 10 operations you had when you can't even remember when. None of that. Clean and simple product. So this is the second insurance product, Wealth Guard. The third product is called Wealth Points. This tackles the issue from a different point of view. We're all spending money every month, right? This product aims to help you save money on that spend. Okay? Wealth Points, 249 Rand a month. You retain 100 Rand. It goes into your e-wallet. And when you have this product, you get access to these suppliers, our partners that are listed over there. The list is growing every month. We're always adding to the list. We have gone to these suppliers and negotiated discounts with them that you would never be able to typically get as an individual. Right? Collective bargaining. For your benefit. If you want benefit immediately out of any other products, this is the product to have. So for example, we've got ShopRite Checkers. Groceries are costing a fortune nowadays. Shop at ShopRite Checkers. You'll get a discount there. We've got the Entertainer. 1.2 million Rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers at spas, hotels around the world, restaurants around the country. Savings to be had. Beyond what your premium is costing you. Okay. So those are the three products. I remind you, you become a wealth engineer, you do not get set into the wilderness to fend for yourself. The mandate of those people I introduced you to on slide 3 is to support our wealth engineers in becoming successful, in being as effective as possible. So in saying that, we've got a host of aspects that support you in being a wealth engineer. We're sitting in an auditorium that our wealth engineers have free access to. They come do presentations themselves here. We live stream all the events out to the entire world, well, nationally, but you can tune in around the world, right? You're not fixed to the Gauteng province. If you've got people that you know outside of Gauteng, you're welcome to speak to them, get them to tune into the live stream. We've got breakout rooms, we've got meeting rooms, all for our wealth engineers. Free tea and coffee the whole day if that gets you here. We've got free Wi-Fi, so you can download your apps and update them. Come into the offices. These facilities have been bought for you. Everything we do here is to support you guys. You need to feel that support, right? Lean on it. It'll make you more effective as a wealth engineer. Okay. Here we have Zachariah. Has Zachariah made it back? No, he hasn't. Okay. So poor Zach, this is Zach, right? We couldn't take a fancy photo of him. He has a company that's a contractor to Eskom, and he got pulled out on an emergency, I think out in Secunda somewhere, last minute. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us this evening. So we Facebook stalked him, and we found out that he owns a yacht. Okay, so he's doing really well. But this is Zachariah. He's actually in Patrick and Pumi's channel, who are going to come up on stage, and we're going to discuss Zach and his success with DuePoint. So guys, come up on stage. Wow. Don't be shy. Who's talking? We'll swap. Okay. Notice Zach's also from Kempton Park. Right? Oh, there must be a pattern. I would only get people from Kempton to join the business. So you guys introduced Zach to the business.
Yes.
Okay. And that was in June. So give us a little bit of background. Tell us what you know of Zach's story in his stead.
Okay.
Nothing bad.
No, that's only. One thing about Zach that we can say is that he's a very persistent guy. He knows what he's doing. And when we put him on the business, first time I invited him, I was not sure whether he's going to be able to do this business, because he was agreeing with everything I was telling him. And I felt that he doesn't understand, And I invited him because I wanted to test him that he understands me. And I asked him to bring a guest on the following presentation, which he did. Yeah. Okay, that was nice. I said, okay, that means this guy understands what he's doing. Anyway, the results are showing. Yeah.
They are.
And one thing that he surprised me about is every time, because this business is a very nice business because everything is at your fingertips. So every time I'm opening my business, there's Zach on the live feed. Oh, wow. So every time he does the presentation on his own, he's not relying on the head office only. He can work on his own without coming here. I know that he's busy at work. He had some emergency. And I know, but tomorrow morning when I open the reports, I will see him. Because every night, I don't know where does he get people to sign. And I'm hoping that one day you'll tell me. I guess so. Yes, but he's quite an interesting guy to work with, and yeah, there's nothing to say about him. He's just
Well, I think the importance of this point is the importance of teamwork, right? Yeah. And we'll see Patrick and Pumi's slide next. I'll let them sit down. Patrick, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add about Zach's business. No. But guys, I'm going to let you sit down, but I'm going to touch on just the importance of teamwork, right? Patrick and Pumi. Patrick and Pumi have enjoyed massive success here at DuePoint, right? Do you want to come back up? No, you don't have to. What's important to note here, guys, is that their success has not been done on their own efforts. It hasn't. We've spoken about these channels of distribution. I've touched on collaborating, building teams. This is what it means. Their success, over and above their own effort, has been built on the success of the guys that they have introduced to this business. Zach is one of those people. Ruth is one of those people. They have got a host of wealth engineers that have brought into this business that they have supported, they've nurtured, they've got a wonderful team, and this is the result. This is the result. In 9 months. Guys, I want to see all our wealth engineers get to this point. All of our wealth engineers get to this point. It is not impossible. I promise you, Patrick and Pumi, they don't have a doctorate in human behavioral sciences. They are like you and me. The difference is commitment. That is the only difference here, is commitment. You're either 100% in, or you're just going to take longer to get to your dreams. Alrighty. We have hundreds of wealth engineers that are earning with us. Every month we do different Tell All Tuesday, different wealth engineers are coming up. You can log on to our YouTube channel. You'll see all those testimonials that our wealth engineers have given us. Okay, and they're not actors. Side note, not actors. And on that note, I'm going to ask Brendan to come up. He's been hiding in the background, holding his lip, holding his tongue.
That's right, there's been a lot said tonight. I'm not your favorite accountant. You want to quit your job? Yeah, no, there's been a lot said tonight. A lot said tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, as Rob has pointed out the whole evening, we feel at DuePoint there isn't really a decision left to be made. We really feel quite strongly about that. People want to argue with us about, well, this is hard work and it takes time. And then, well, welcome to the real world. You've been working hard and you've been putting time into something for years called your jobs. Has it ever given you what you expected it to get out? Now, you're not in the minority when you've had a disappointing experience at work or even running your own small and medium-sized business. Businesses, only 1 in 100 businesses launched a year succeed. Only 1 in 100, which is the same as only 0.5% of employees ever become CEOs. And that's why, Rob says we talk to the young guys. The young guys are like, no, I've got my career ahead of me. I'm fantastically qualified. You still, only 0.5% of you are going to ever make it into those positions. The rest of us are stuck in our jobs with no certainty, with just no certainty. And we're tired of that. We're all tired of that. That is why we made DuePoint. And we didn't make it as a garage startup. It's not one of these things you see on the internet and some guy from Russia Skypes in once a month, but you never know, and all of this sort of jazz. We put money and capital and people and skills and licenses and registrations into place so that we can start changing the South African economy, so that we can start changing your lives and our own with certainty. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you're left with a decision. Whether you're going to pursue being a wealth engineer, is it going to be a risk that you have to take tonight? Well, no, not really. There's no financial risk. There's no credit card machines waiting for you. No money will part from your hands or your wallets this evening. Simply sign up and become a wealth engineer this evening. And then the decision will really start. The decision making of whether you can persistently redirect your minds and times and efforts towards changing your future forever. That's what it's going to take. If you want to become a wealth engineer this evening, it's very simple. Go out, jump on our iPads or on your smartphones and tablets, fill out our application form on our website. It'll take you 5 minutes and you're a wealth engineer and your channel will be born tonight. And from tomorrow, you have every single day of the week except for Sunday where we will run presentations in this room for you where you can start growing your channel. In time, like Pumi said, you'll get to a point where you can present yourself like Zach does. Doesn't matter where Zach is, he'll put 5 people in a room and present to them. That'll be you in a time, but you can start tomorrow off of the back of what you have here at DuePoint in changing your future, building your channel. And we really encourage you to do that. Folks, once you've done that, I want you to sit down with your lead wealth engineers this evening, whoever brought you here. And I want you to set for yourself a goal. Rob spoke about it a bit earlier as well. The wonderful thing about the system is that with a goal, you can put in and you'll get there. But the difficulty of the system is that without a goal, without an idea of what you want, in 5 years' time, you'll be one of the many, perhaps, who've still got nothing. And we don't want that. So tonight, set the goal. Is it 5 grand, 10 grand, 50 grand a month that you want? Set that goal and start making a plan with the DuePoint system to get there. We have our biggest event of the year coming up in February next year. It is our national conference. It is where you will see the size and scale of what we are doing here at DuePoint. It is going to be an incredible day that you spend with DuePoint. And I want to encourage all of you. We've only got a few tickets left. We sold out most of them within the first 60 days of opening the tickets. Please, if you are going to build this channel seriously, if you're going to build a future where you travel and you live like a real person, then we need you to be at that conference. I need you to go and get that ticket. You can buy it online or at our counter. Get that ticket, get it for yourself and any guests that you want on that day. It's first come, first serve. Get those tickets and let's make sure that you are there for the biggest event of the year in 2017. Folks, we run monthly wealth quests. These are opportunities for you, if you're brand new or been here a long time, to get some physical reward out of the efforts you're going to put into your channel straight away. Every month we change them. Every month when you complete the criteria of these wealth quests, you're rewarded with tools that will accelerate the growth of your channel, like everything that we do. This month, you'll get your own iPad. Who wants their own iPad for Christmas? Because that's what's happening this month. Every single person can do it. There's still half a month left. You can still make it. You can get out there, get this done, and you'll get your own iPad. We give iPhones away, cash, smart TVs. It's all out there. Every month, the Wealth Quest is different, and you have an opportunity to set up a whole array of tools for yourself over just a matter of months with us as you complete the Wealth Quests. Every 2 weeks, we do training, and I want to encourage you again. This Saturday, we do live training out of this building where we train you how to build your channels, how to be absolute successes as wealth engineers here at DuePoint. This weekend, Saturday from 9 until 10, 1 hour, we're going to be holding our training session on how to activate duplication in your channels. How do you get other people to build your channel for you while you're sleeping? That's what we're going to be talking about this Saturday. Please make sure you put it in your diaries and you're here on Saturday morning. Book it in, be here. Live streamers, you know you can live stream the development seminars, so please put it in your diary and tune in at 9 o'clock this Saturday. This will be our last development seminar this year. So make sure your entire channel is here, guys, for the last one. All right, guys. Well, that's our story this evening. We're going to let you go. We have our own YouTube channel. If you want to see more about us or if you want to follow us, please go to DuePoint channel on YouTube, subscribe, and you'll know the moment we go live with our live presentations and when we upload videos, which we do all the time. Please do that. If you become a wealth engineer this evening, please download our free app onto your phone, log in, and your channel will be live on your phone. Everywhere you are, you will always be able to see exactly what's going on in your channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're dead serious about what we're doing here this evening. You will not find anything like DuePoint anywhere in the country, and we believe in the world right now. You're dealing with a 21st century direct selling company founded in South Africa by South Africans that understands the South African environment. This is where we're going to change this country, starting in these rooms, and we want you to be part of it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Come get your questions answered. We'll see you outside. And thanks for the live streamers.